Hey everybody, welcome to COPICafe episode number 58. You've got Rob Gregg here and Josh Jones, and we're excited to go over a variety of topics: the OG Mint, the T3 sale, the desktop launcher, racing game, characters and avatar. Got a special guest for you today, questions from the community, and a leak. So before we get into it, for those of you that don't know what Cornucopias is, we are an MMORPG game. And we're actually going live soon with special access to Toledo Valley Raceway, which is going to be very, very cool. But there's so much involved in Cornucopias. We're going to have curated domes, these lands where you can fly to, utilize your NFT or Web3 vehicles to go to different lands, different domes, and explore the variety that we have for you in this game. One of those is Solace, and it's beautiful. It looks like a Colorado, a beautiful mountainous region with streams and all sorts of things that you can do in there, building up on your land, participating in the in-game economy. One of those is the Racing Dome, which is going to allow for you to race and explore the outer themed park. So lots of fun stuff with Cornucopias. You can always find out more about what we're doing by checking the Cornucopias wiki. There's over 400 pages of information there for you. So go dive into that. Look at our videos on YouTube. There's so much to explore. It's a really big vision, and we're actually executing on it pretty quickly. Not as fast as I'd like, but way faster than most AAA quality studios. So we are very efficient and nimble at the moment. Anyways, let's kick this off. Rob, I'm excited about this episode. What are you drinking?
Yeah, hello there. Speaking of Colorado, I just booked my flights yesterday. So
good job.
I will be coming. I'll be coming to
Rare
Colorado.
Evo. All right.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well, today, I mean, I've half drunk it already. I will be having an Oasis. Like I say, every time I have Oasis, sometimes you just have to roll with it.
You sing about it if you want.
Well, might take my time.
Okay. Well, I'm drinking a beer, Rob.
What?
Non-alcoholic beer, but it's a beer.
Why are you drinking a beer, Josh?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. I'm drinking a beer because I'm excited, man. I'm celebrating. The team is rocking and rolling on all cylinders. So many things are starting to come together. And when I say so many things, I really mean that. It's mind-boggling. And there's a lot of details, but it really feels like this is piecing together, and we're going to have something freaking amazing very soon. So I'm so excited about that. I'm excited about the OG Mint that just took place and the T3 sale coming up. So maybe we just kick off and tell me, what did you think of the OG Mint so far?
I think the OG Mint was very stressful leading up to it. Well, I think we were a little bit calm leading up to it, and then we had a last minute change of metadata, which only took us about half an hour to fix. But yeah, so there was a slight delay, but the tech held up again. You know, we had to dust it off. We haven't used it in this year, and the OGs turned up. They were quite excited. It was a good test of the tech, and the tech is all ready to go now for next week.
Yes, sir. And I would add to that, yeah, since we hadn't done sales, and gosh, it's July. It's been 7 months at the least. Mid-December was a small sale, but really it's almost been a year since a big sale. So yeah, it's been quite a bit. We're a little out of the routine. We ran a retro on it that you led just a couple hours ago, and I think that went really well. Let this team speak their voice around things, because we've got to get back in the rhythm of doing this in the right way to put out game assets, enough game assets that the traditional gamers start coming in, that we create that volume of users that's going to be good for all of us. Yep. And so that's kind of our goal, and we just got to get back into a rhythm that makes sense. We're going to be doing limited vehicle offerings, more limited than previous sales. So that's pretty cool, and a lot of fun stuff coming up for everybody to participate in. But the OG was a Bonanza. Did you get a good one?
I got an uncommon one. It's really good. Last year I got a common Bubblejett. Yeah, for those of us that don't know, the OG Mint is an annual event, and it is a gift for our OG members. Anyone can be an OG, even today. It will be ongoing, and yeah, they
But
just
there's
pay the
criteria
transaction
involved
fees.
and participation
Yeah,
involved, and
it's criteria.
things that we want to see happening with people that are really contributing to the community in one way or another. And it's not a super easy thing to achieve. I know many of them out there are really wanting to get that upgrade, but over time, stick with us. I'm pretty sure you'll get it. Hang in there and do what you can to add value to the community and be kind to the people inside the
Yeah, and
community.
I
Be
think
helpful.
it's a role that is evolving, and something that we're going to get better at actually putting people up for promotion as well. So it should be community led, and we are aware that we do promote people that are OG that are mainly from Discord, but we also promote people that are supporting our project on Twitter and YouTube. I think some people think that we don't see what's going on, but we do. But we do need to get better at recognizing those people.
Yeah, and look, we mentioned not necessarily talking about this, so I'm just going to keep a small attention to it. But we did announce doing a purge because a lot of people have just kind of jumped ship and taken off, and that doesn't really leave integrity in the role. And so this isn't something that you earn and then it's just there for life. It's not. It doesn't work that way. This is about being an active member in the community. So we will be revisiting that very soon. That has been announced in the OG channel in our Discord. So some of them are aware of that. But yeah, we want to have people in that role that are really adding significant value. So I got a common, by the way. I was kind of sad. But hey, guess what? There's still like maybe going to be 600 total, somewhere around there. I'm not sure the amount. We'll land on the final amount soon, but there's not a lot of these. Pretty rare.
Nope, and they're fast. They're pretty fast.
They are fast. The T3 upcoming sale. Many of you are excited about it. We wanted to do this as close as possible or after the launch, if we could, of the racing game. I don't know if that's going to come into fruition, but either way, it's really close. And so you all will have utility for your vehicles very soon, which is pretty cool. So very exciting sale. And that's going to be next Wednesday, the 12th, July 12th. So not far off. If you want to participate in that sale, you definitely got to get over to our website. And the actual link that you'll go to start the setup process is nft.cornucopias.io. So you can start there, connect your Discord, create your account there. This is different from the player account. In the future, that'll be all combined together. But right now, in the interest of saving some time, kind of two different places, we'll get that resolved as quickly as we can. But there's some complicated behind the scenes things that need to happen there. So for now, go sign up, nft.cornucopias.io, and set up your Discord. It's a great, easy to use tutorial. Takes you through the whole process, how to get set up. And then if you have any questions, just go into our community and ask. Anything else you want to say about that?
Our mints do evolve over time. We get feedback from the community, and this one has evolved. So we're aware that, we want to look after people that are active within the community. We also want to look after people that are NFT holders. So we think that this current iteration works well with that. So we have created a daily corn claim in Discord, which is completely free. You go into that channel and you do /daily, and every day you get some a random amount of corn. What you've been able to do for this mint is, if you have been active on us on quite regularly over the last few months, you will have accumulated some decent amount of tokens, and you can buy a tier 1 ticket. So it's completely free. You just need to have been active. You buy a tier 1, and then the tier 1, we can I mean, we can announce it now, but I think we've already announced it in Discord, is we're going to open that mint for longer. So we are aware that, you know, people throughout the world, some are in Australia, some are in Europe, some are in Asia, Africa. Our previous mints are kind of okay for people that are in UK and America, but not the rest of the world. So to allow for that, and to allow for people that are active in the community, those that buy that initial tier 1 can mint, I think it's up to 24 hours before. It might be 12 hours, but a really good window, so you don't have to be up in the morning.
Next up, well, we've got more on the T3 sale coming up later with our special guest in this episode, but we got to talk about the desktop launcher a little bit. That is near completion. We're almost there, meaning 99%. I've seen images. It's working incredibly well. The internal testing has occurred. So we're days at maximum, probably a week before that goes public for you guys to test. It would be to a small testing group, public, for you guys to test it, make sure that we're trying to break that as best as we can. And that just means that when the game build is ready, we attach the game build to the play button so that when the play button is clicked, the game launches.
Yeah, you can't launch the game without the launcher. The launcher is version 1 of the launcher. It's got lots more features to come in the future. So it is kind of like bare bones version 1 at the moment. I wouldn't really call it MVP, but I suppose it is the minimum that you need to launch the game. So it's really
and just
early
the
days.
minimum is a lot. Like this has been a big project. Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why it's taken so long, because, you know, the game is ready to go, but without this security features and everything that comes with the launcher, and then buttoning everything together and getting the APIs working, you know, all those bits have added extra development time. But yeah, we could just launch the game, but that's not how it's been designed.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so racing game update. They're working on the getting us a build with multiplayer, possibly later today, which is pretty cool. A build with multiplayer racing. I'm crossing my fingers on that. There was some several issues that occurred that we needed to get resolved. One is you go into the racing lobby, you walk up to a kiosk, it pops up a window, you select which vehicle you're going to race, and you get launched into a race. And so that element alone has got a significant amount of programming and thought into the UI of the menus and all sorts of things that had to occur. So that is pretty much ready to go there. And then we've got two tracks that are definitely ready. And most of the vehicles are ready. So we're almost all the way there with all vehicles, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, so still a significant amount of testing left to do before we go public with it. But we're going to get into that as quickly as we can. And so we're really nearing the finish line. I'm very, very excited. But just to not create any false expectations, we still can't create a date yet, because there's I'd love to call out a date, but we're really nearing the point where we're going to feel comfortable enough to call a date. And it's just so many last minute things have to come together and work and not have any problems, but we're so close. We're so close. So,
well, it's like you say, you know, we've been working on the Clido Outer, and we've been working on the racing game. So these are kind of two different levels. Now we're putting them together in the same experience. So we're just buttoning up those last bit. If we zoom out to when we have the full metaverse, you know, you'll be able to start in your home bubble. You'll be able to fly to Solace, or you'll be able to fly past Solace and go into Clido Valley, and then walk through Clido Valley and go racing, and then go back. So that's how the big picture will look when everything's there. And you can go to Esperanza and Fortune and all the other. But for the moment, we have the Valley, which is a pretty big release.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, that's kind of the update on the racing game. Last little segment we have before we bring up our special guest. Characters in the avatar system. We've had one in place. You've seen many of our characters. You've seen some of the UE4 characters. You've now seen some of the UE5 characters. we've gone in and completely upgraded that system. And Jim has been working on that, our technical director, for quite a while now. And a lot of effort has gone into that, really making that, just making it better. The bone structures, the meshes, how it's going to work within the clothing, how it looks when they move, all of these things. It's a lot of effort to make that look as quality as we want it to. But that's come together really nicely. I know we passed that off to David, and David's now giving it, that's the programming side is done. And now there's David's got to get in there and really refine a lot of that and paint and get the look and feel coming out of that, fleshing that out. But I'm excited to see some final results. I know we've seen one example so far, and it's remarkable, the before and after.
You know, people that have been following us for a couple of years, you would have heard about us creating these characters, and then we're on version 2 and version 3. It's completely normal to have a prototype of a system and then tune that up and then improve it and then improve it. And then in our case, we've done that. UE5 came out, so we improved the graphics again. And now we you know, the characters that you've seen Josh and myself running around with are this previous generation. So what we're saying is the characters that when you get your hands on the game, they will be this, I'm going to say, final generation that comes with the whole creator. So they do have improved animations. They do have improved look and feel. The faces are more human-like. So we've moved probably completely away from the initial cartoons, kind of. So, but they're not metascans. They're not 100% accurate. But they're closer to metascans than they were in the UE4. So we'll have new looking. So I'm going to be really excited to see them. We haven't.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of it, without a doubt. You know, there's definitely a good amount of work that's gone into it, and I've only seen one of them so far.
And they will improve as the characters become more naniteable. So this, you know, characters will improve again.
Naniteable.
But we're ready now. We've been working on this final solution for the last few months.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, you know, you've all been waiting. Who's our special guest? Well, we've said his name already once. Our creative director, David. Let's go ahead and get him up on the show. All right. Well, here he is. Welcome, David. COPICafe. You've been here before, but for those of you that don't know David, this is our creative director with Cornucopias. He's involved in the programming and the look and feel of anything that you've seen typically. Plays a huge role in the company, a lot of leadership, overseeing a good sized art team. And yeah, good to have you on the show again, man.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I feel like it's been a very long time. You guys keep trying to get me on, and I'm like, I'm just too busy.
That's true.
So, busy for a good reason.
For 5 weeks now. Well, before we get too far along, what are you drinking today?
Oh, I don't know. It's a little embarrassing, but it's like a meal replacement, like Soylent.
It is a little. Yeah. That's for sure. It's a little.
This is what you do when you're
super 8
busy.
It's true.
It's 11 ounces.
11 ounces. Oh, 1 down from 12. They're like, no, we don't want to do 12. Let's go with 11.
Yep.
Interesting.
I think it'd be cool like that.
One more than 10.
Well, what have you been working on lately, man?
Oh, you know. So finally coming to what I would say is the end of the beginning. So
yeah.
The whole, just everything, the beginning of the metaverse, you know, the whole start of what's essentially the Cornucopias universe, vehicles, racing, multiplayer, the resort area, just getting everything together for release. So it's crazy times right now.
Yes, it is. And I know you've been working incredibly hard. I know the team has as well. You guys just continue to amaze us. So we're really thankful for the hard work that you're doing. A lot of things coming into play all at once, a lot of complications, a lot of successes. We've got failures, all of the above, but we're working through it and we're really, really close. Yeah. The end. Oh, wait, the beginning of the end. The end of the beginning.
The end of the beginning.
Yeah. So
Seems
yeah, we're just literally about to get kick started. It's good stuff. You want to show us anything today, or is there anything else you want to talk about before we dig in to?
I don't think so. I was just going to talk about the vehicles. So talk about the class racing a little bit. I've been in the Discord a little bit, goofing around with. I guess this is a good point to say hello, Cornucopians. It's been it's been fun playing around with you guys occasionally, but yeah, I like to actually show some vehicles. We can kind of see all the vehicles together in their different classes, talk about what that means, talk about some of the details on the vehicles, maybe some of the utility as well. So
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's get in
let me
there.
share my screen here. Let me know if you guys can see things. You should see C-Class right there. All right, fantastic. So got this nice little layout to kind of explain where vehicles fall in each category. So we're going to start with C-Class. So, and I'm sure everyone knows what this one is, the vehicle that we all love and adore, the Sprinter, which has had a few updates in detail. We actually got the thrusters going on these two, so you guys can actually see these things, but you have lots of little like extra details in the vehicle that are pretty cool. And actually in this lineup of things, I don't have the stats up right now for things, but the Sprinter, out of many of these vehicles that are in a row here, actually holds quite a bit of cargo. So we have a standard cargo unit that we actually take. So it's like physical and unreal, and we actually take all the trunk space, the glove compartments, all the stuff, and figure out how many of those standard cargo units can actually fit in the vehicle, so that when you're a player flying around the world, you pick up bushels of corn from Solus and you want to get those over to Esperanza, you know how much you can fit in the vehicle, and the vehicle essentially functions as an inventory. So you got more storage in this one than most of the vehicles. But yeah, Bubblejett Sprinter, we've seen it quite a bit, but this is the Sprinter.
That is race ready as well, right?
I like the lights on the front.
Yeah, most certainly. It's even got detail underneath here, even though it's kind of hard to see. So yeah, that one's ready for racing. And this really stands as a vehicle that it can do racing, but it's got some, extra utility for the metaverse as well. Should we move on?
Oh, I don't know if this
Look away. What is that?
That's pretty leaky. There's our leak for the day. Whoop, whoop. Nice. All right.
So Core Dynamics, a company that's in Cornucopias, that actually makes a lot of the utility type stuff where you see public transport, the World Breaker. I don't think anyone's seen the World Breaker yet. Big industry kind of company, but they also compete with Bubblejett. So this is kind of their entry. This is known as the Core Dynamics Astro 4. This is a vehicle you'll see maybe soon, maybe at a later time. The sale, I don't know if Josh, you want to talk about how the sale would go about on this one, but we are trying to move in a little bit more of a mainstream direction on this.
Well, yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good point for me to interject. I've seen some chatter every once in a while. Oh, too many sales. You're doing, don't sell anymore. And the reality is, like, some people are in a paradigm of PFP NFT project thinking, and this is a game. And I guess the question that I have for you guys is, would you rather have a game where we have a small community of, say, 50,000 people, or would you rather have millions? If you want millions, which is what we're going for, we need to look at what the traditional gaming community has in that area. And when you look at mainstream games that have millions of followers, they have a lot of content. This is essential. So that's our thinking on it. Anyway, that's a good looking vehicle. Tell us a little bit more about it.
So this one's a little, I would say performance wise, it's going to be it's got some good handling aspects about it, so maybe a little bit slower than the Sprinter. One thing it does excel on the Sprinter is having lots of cargo space. So there's actually a cargo door in the back of there. There's also doors on the outside. So I think from the company perspective of Core Dynamics, the aim on this vehicle is to produce something that's sort of a sporty courier type vehicle. Great for getting around the world. It's a everyday driver kind of vehicle, but it also has some racing utility to have fun. It's sporty utility.
It's really awesome. Love it.
Pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll see when that shows up in the future.
Rob is just so amazed he can't say a word.
Apparently.
No, I'm thinking of, is there enough room in the back to put the golf clubs in?
Yes.
He's thinking about golfing.
Maybe I need to take up golf.
You
Yeah,
do.
no,
We're
they're
going to be playing
absolutely-
in Vegas for please.
So before I go a little bit further, just let me talk about classes for a second here. So
Okay.
in mainstream gaming, anybody that's played Forza, Gran Turismo, games like that are pretty aware that in order for racing to be fair, you have to have a class system for performance. So what we're showing here is how these vehicles fit in those specific classes, and we're still developing the model for the handling of the vehicles. But there's a lot of things that go into what determine these classes, and there was a lot of what I call real world testing done, even to the point that we're actually using a stopwatch to time things. So the aspects of the vehicles that we measure for performance are majorly going to be speed, which is a combination of a top speed that you could reach within a certain distance, and a combination of top speed when you're afterburning. You know, when you got the boost going on there, then we mix that figure together to get your speed figure. For other figures like handling, they're quite a bit more complex. So the weight of the vehicle goes into those, how well it can maneuver, and also braking. You'll find various braking systems across vehicles where some have aero brakes, where they can throw the flaps up and actually help brake. You'll find some that actually have reverse thrusters. So there's a lot that goes into that. The other thing is acceleration. That's basically where we measure a vehicle from takeoff without afterburner at 1,000-meter mark to determine what speed it can reach to determine the acceleration. So there's a lot that goes into the class systems to make sure things are nice and balanced for racing. But these vehicles here are the only ones that will be available in C-Class in the very near future.
I love the design of the front of that one. That's just really cool looking.
This one?
Front view.
Or that one? This one?
Yeah. Oh, well,
T1.
the white one, but this one too. This is the T1?
Whoa.
One of the T1s. Yeah. So Cleto Valley, you know, they have track management. This is one of the, we call them the free vehicles, but this is not a vehicle you can go and leave Cleto with or fly to Solus with. This is just given to you by the track for racing. That's its only purpose. As far as right now goes, it definitely, could it be that we sell T1s further on in the future? It's quite possible for people to own and actually take around the metaverse. It's possible, but these are just, it's kind of like when you go to a go-kart track to have fun with your family and you pick a go-kart and you go racing with it. That's what these are for. And this is what fits in the C-Class.
And we want to be free to play. So
yes, you're going to have something for people to start with. It's actually all
those
kinds
brake
of
lights there.
little details.
Oh, nice engine.
Brake
shot.
lights, bolts, and screws. And this one just has a single thruster. We'll get to the other ones. You have some of your thrusters down here as well. You don't have any reverse thrusters on this one, but
No cargo space.
What?
No cargo space either.
Very little that's in a vehicle like this. And if you look at it, this vehicle's, you know, it's intended for racing. That's what it's for. All right, moving on to one of my favorites here. So as you see my hat, Josh, I think you're wearing your hat. I can't see the screen right now, but the Javelin, this is the legendary Javelin, and one I personally own. So I absolutely love this olive drab. You got sort of this satin metal color that's going on with it. Some more details were added
legendary.
to.
Nice. Good work.
Yeah. No, actually I didn't. I bought one because I wanted one.
Oh, all right. Believer. You're a believer in the project. I like that.
I buy the ones I want. Yeah, for sure.
I like the detail on the handles. Can we get a close-up of that?
Oh, you're talking about the... yeah, you got some suede, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's right. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty stylish. This thing always has I love the rear profile.
And then when you're walking around Toledo Resort, you'll be able to go into the GTi showroom and walk around these, won't you?
Yeah. It's good to see quite a few
I
things.
want to build a life-size replica of this physical one day in New York City for people to come and sit on these.
Yeah,
I think we can actually hide. We could hide wheels underneath and actually drive it around. That could be fun. So, what's this? Bonanza. So that's the regular Bonanza, and this is actually, they're lined up well enough so you can see how comparable they are. But this is a rivalry that I think is going to become a thing. So Bubblejett versus GTi, similar performance specs. I'll tell you that one handles a little better and another one's a little bit faster, but I'm not going to tell you which one. So it'll really depend on your style of racing and what works for you. So, but very cool comparable vehicles here. Bonanza, I think we'll be seeing, I believe, a little bit later after release for that one. Oh, and here we are. That classic Gremlin Green. This thing's had a few updates. Probably still always going to be one of the coolest vehicles.
That sound system I see. Wait, those jets are
yeah. So funny part, sorry OGs. This one has a sound system, so it actually reduces your cargo capacity a little bit compared to a normal Sprinter. So, but hey, hopefully we get you an extra bass boost going on in there. So, but it looks cool. You can actually see. Take a look at the engine details here. So this thing looks so muscly. You can also see the new OG Custom logo. That was updated. Something I covered in the Discord is OG Custom is not a Bubblejett specific thing. They are an aftermarket company that takes vehicles like the Sprinter and customizes the crap out of them basically to produce a very unique vehicle that is limited in quantity, just like this one. So very cool. Any questions?
No, it's amazing.
So pretty. The green's so pretty.
Does it come in Tiger?
I don't think this one did. No. Sprinter, regular Sprinter comes in Tiger Orange. Here is a B-Class T1. So you can see there is some differences. We have reverse thrusters. These things are actually a lot of fun. You hit the brakes and the whole thing shakes. I don't know if, I'm sure many of you are familiar with when you're on an airplane and you go to land and you can hear the reverse thrusters come on. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Braking is actually fun for once in a game.
I love it.
This one actually has probably the most detail in the back as far as exposed engine internals and all that. So all of these also have an aero braking kit that goes with the reverse thrusters. So very good.
For those excited to get in and play the game and race, you said the reverse thrusters create an effect.
Yeah, they actually do.
So it makes it feel fun to brake to go around some of these turns.
It does. Yeah. So not all vehicles have them. It's more of a race car kind of thing for the most part. You imagine big, loud thrusters blasting forward just to put the brakes on. Maybe not for everyone, but it is a ton of fun.
Oh, the legendary
Rockabilly Pink. So yeah, probably one of my favorite colors that's in the Cornucopias universe right now for paint colors.
OG Bonanza.
Yeah.
Yes. I always said if you're going to drive one of these on the track, you probably need to have your head examined. So, I mean, you're riding a rocket is exactly what's going on. We're talking this thing competes over there with the T3, which we'll cover in just a moment, but absolutely beautiful, nuts, wild looking version of the Bonanza. very interesting is the sort of striking front we have here. These are fanless sort of intakes. So this is more of a quantum compressor type intake on the vehicle. And you'll see that on a lot of vehicles that are more on the high end or customized side of stuff. And lore-wise, we'll get into what things like that do.
Are we allowed to release speeds of the Class A vehicles yet, or is that still under wraps?
I don't have them off the top of my head. I know one thing we're doing right before release is just a final check on all the stats on the vehicles. So there will be an absolute point where everyone sees all the stats and what.
Yeah, you've shown us some of the stats and some of the testing, and I think looking at the data is pretty exciting. But yeah, okay,
it is pretty cool. Yeah, and of course, like I always say, stats are stats. Whatever fits you on the track is a little bit different. No doubt, somebody that's great at racing could probably beat somebody. They could probably be in a sprinter and beat somebody over here if they know what they're doing. So there's a lot in the driver's hands.
I mean, it could probably have a reverse effect being in a vehicle that's too fast if you're not prepared to handle it, right?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying is it's like getting in a brand new Corvette, not familiar with the V8, and you spin out and go into go into a curve, that kind of thing.
I'll be driving the Tiger Sprinter, but I'm pretty sure I won't be beating anyone.
This color is Valley Orange, which is very similar to Tiger.
You come around. So. All right.
This is the beefiest version of the T1. And boy, is it beefy looking. So you've got the reverse thrusters, the thrusters we have underneath. Take a look at the rear. This thing just
so this is the T1. It's still a free vehicle. It's just beefed up for A class.
Beefed up so it can compete with these lovely guys that are over here. Ooh. So
the difference in the free ones and the NFT owned ones will be the rewards.
Time for the T3. So you guys probably saw, of course, the video for this recently. Very beautiful vehicle. You guys probably saw the concept version of the T3, especially back in Scene of TCon Vegas. So much of the T3 was actually redone. It's about 20-30% larger than it was before. And I think it's got this sort of, I don't know. It's like an F-14 Tomcat with this stealth bomber kind of vibe going on, which I love.
Sick.
A lot of people talk about the fat rear end as well, which I very much like. It's actually not as wide as you think, though, when you look at it from the top view. So very, very cool machine, and I can't wait. I can't wait to mint one of these. So very excited. I'm not going to tell you which. Yeah, go ahead.
It's coming up soon. It's this week coming up.
Yep. Not going to tell you which rarity color this is. I absolutely know. But I guess we'll have to see what the other colors look like. And there's a lot of cool stuff. So
yeah, I'm definitely
can actually go hop inside here. Very sporty interior that kind of reminds me of a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Or a Ferrari in a way. All the rarities, by the way, do come with a different interior leather trim. So all of them. So that'll be kind of fun. You not only can get excited about, well, what color am I getting on the outside? What color are you getting on the inside?
Where do I put my bobblehead?
There's actually, I'll tell you how that's going to work.
Question.
Yeah, I'll tell you how that's going to work. So, because we wouldn't want to modify. We wouldn't say, hey, Bubblejett as a manufacturer, you need to make your vehicles all with a bubblehead holder because that'd be kind of weird. So we're actually doing a little device so that when you have a bubblehead, it's like a little clip-on holder that's in the vehicle.
Nice.
And you can imagine if you're racing in here, hopefully you don't get too distracted by your bobblehead. Just kind of bobbling around over there. That could be bad because consequences for mistakes in racing it can be pretty bad. So you hit a wall or something too hard, it's not going to be good. So
don't get to the hospital, right?
Your head will be bubbling.
Yeah, most likely, yes. So, but that's there you go. That's A class, B class, and C class. Just an example of what's up and coming and seeing. I think it's cool to see all the vehicles here in their full detail. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah. Well, for anybody that's not familiar with how to get connected with us and participate in the NFT sale that's coming up for the T3, which is the A class he showed last. You can go to our Discord. There's plenty of people in there. So get to our Discord. You can find out the Discord link from just going to our website, cornucopias.io. And you can also go to our Twitter at Cornucopias Game. But yeah, go ahead and get set up and prepped for this. It's going to be fun. We always have a lot of fun. There's people that live stream our mints and while it's going on. And I think the thing that I'm most excited about with this is that we really tried to time this where the game would be live in public testing, right? In pre-alpha. But we're not exactly sure of the date just yet. We will list that soon, but it's so close. We're so close to giving these things, getting into racing. And so I'm fired up about that. Anyway, these look amazing, David. It's just beautiful vehicles.
Yeah, I think they're awesome. It's so unique. You don't get vehicles like this in a lot of different games. So it's just the whole world that we're making here. The Cornucopias universe is incredibly unique. It's going to be a very fresh experience for a large scale multiplayer game.
Yes, sir. And another nice hang with David, our creative director. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, nice to be on here. Yeah, I know. Is once we get this release out, I'll be on here more often. I just really cranking it to take things home right now.
Yeah, I think the community loves seeing you, love talking to you. It'd be good to have you on COPICafe a little more regularly to give some perspective, because I think so many of us lack perspective on what all goes into building some of this stuff. So we could do some behind the scenes stuff. We could talk about some of the technology, some of the things, creative solutions you've come up with. There's so much we could do. But
yeah, no, definitely. We are trying to be cutting edge with everything that we're doing right now. State of the art in the Cornucopias. If you think about it, games like this do have a longer production cycle, obviously, but you don't want to arrive at your final point and say, oh, the game's in a good state, to really market it and push it to everyone. And then it looks like it's from, 5 years ago, that kind of thing. So we're trying to stay as future proof and cutting edge as we can with it. And I think, you Cornucopians, you guys have probably seen that by now. That's looking pretty good.
I mean, everything you just said has taken me back to that point in time about a year ago, around March of 22, when Unreal Engine 5 came out, and we were talking about it for about a month, whether or not we were going to take the leap from 4 to 5, because we'd had a significant amount of work in 4. And so we lost a little progress by making the switch. But I got to say that the work and due diligence you did in making sure we could make the switch, you and the programming team and all that was done there, I'm so glad we made the switch. I mean, that's
it's such a big deal. You see a lot of even AAA games now where they did a lot of their development on UE4 and they can't move to UE5. And the game could be way more marketable if they had all that new technology, but they're stuck with some of the amount of money that's spent on those games being developed. They can't just say, hey, let's redevelop the game for UE5.
Yeah.
That's, in their case, that could be a waste of $50 million. So, it was good that we moved.
Decision we
when
made.
We did.
Yeah. Yeah. Real fortunate decision. Well, Rob, any final questions for David or anything else?
No, it's good to see that the T3 will be racing against the Javelins.
Oh, yeah. That's what? Not T3 against Javelins?
I meant Bonanza.
The OG Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Yeah, I don't think a Javelin would have a chance against the T3, but hey, it's still in the hands of the driver. I did think about, I don't know if it's in this release or a later release, just having an unlimited class to allow everyone to compete against each other in different classes and just see what happens. Very curious.
Yeah, I think we should do
It
that.
does. Very curious of you really good drivers out there that really start paying attention to racing to see, hey, can you get in a Sprinter and beat somebody in the OG Bonanza?
Well, it
Maybe.
depends on the track as well, because some tracks are built for faster, some are more maneuverable. So if you have a more maneuverable track,
Yep.
the more maneuverable, slower vehicles will be better, will they? Because the other vehicles can't reach top speed.
You're going to have tracks that are more friendly to speed, some where you're really going to have to hit the brakes a lot. So there's eventually with Cledo, the whole facility, you're going to have about 5 tracks, maybe 6 that are in there, and you're going to get a lot of different variations of sort of what you have to get used to for that kind of racing there. So some have more off-road than others. Some are totally just track. We'll see what happens. So
and depending on how it goes, Cledo may not be the only racing curated dome.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later. So.
There is a lot of questions of what happens if you hit the wall at full speed. What happens? We could.
Well, I think we've already seen that in a leak. So,
where do you wake up?
That's true.
So when that actually happens in the game, so once you've done enough damage to your vehicle that you're actually exploding, you're going to be out of the race at that point. So that's going to add a little bit of fear factor to, I can't just drive around and scrape the wall on the corners, that kind of thing that a lot of people do. So you're going to have to wait for the next race to begin. Essentially, I don't want to get into too much of the lore on how we're regenerating players. But yeah, actually I won't. We'll actually get into that a little bit later. But yes, obviously we're not going to say, whoops, you died. We got to delete your character. You're done. Get out. So there's got to be a way to regenerate yourself and keep going on in the world when an accident inevitably will happen. So.
Okay. Nice tease. We'll look forward to that lore then.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, David, thanks again. Good to have you on the show. And oh wait, who's that furry little animal behind you there?
That is my poor wet dog that had to go use the bathroom in the middle of a thunderstorm. So
oh man.
Yeah, he's I tried to dry him off right before this, but he's still a little bit wet. So he's a golden doodle and he's a beautiful good boy. So
all right.
He's the best of the good boys.
Gotta love the pets, man. All right. Well, we'll talk to you on the next one, man, which will be soon. All right. And for those of you watching, thank you so much for watching. That was your leak for the week. And we'll see you on the next COPICafe. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, well, great to have David on the show. Always good to have him as a COPICafe guest, and fun to see what he's working on behind the scenes. So kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes take there. But the last segment of the show, we're just going to take a few questions for the community. Rob's going to handle those, and I'm going to ask them. So we've got, looks like Kiku from the Mafia. Will the Cheeky Racer suit be available or be able to be used in this racing test version?
Oh, would have been a good question for David, that. Yeah, so the test version will evolve. Version 1, you will only be outside the vehicle, so you won't see the racing suit. But as it evolves over the weeks, and then we tidy up the internal, you'll be able to then change views and race in. So eventually, yes, but not for the first few iterations of it.
Yeah, and also there's a significant amount of programming that needs to go into just being able to use those suits, because you've got ideally, you would go into a menu and select what outfit you're going to wear, because you might be in a fishing outfit from Solace, and then you need to go put on your racing suit. So there's a lot of things that we have to think through for that and plan for it as well. But yeah, that'll be coming soon. Yeah, next question is from Lee Steele of the Knights. Cornucopias launches with special access to Cledo Valley. Given the destructive vehicle physics leaked, to what extent will players need to repair, maintain vehicles during this time? Can you walk me through the process after a vehicle encounters catastrophic failure or low on fuel?
Yeah, this again will evolve over time. It probably won't be available in version 1, but later on, there'll be multiple versions of the different modes of game. When you're in practice mode, maybe you'll be able to destroy the vehicle and have unlimited fuel, and it'll have no effect. When you're actually in competitive mode, then yes, fuel will go down. You will have to top up the car with fuel. Different ways of getting fuel. You can probably purchase fuel with in-game currency. You'll have different tasks within the game that will reward you with fuel. Other areas that we were thinking of offering fuel as well. So yeah, the vehicles do need fuel. In terms of being destructive, depends how hard you hit the walls. If you just scrape along with them, I think as we've shown some previous leaks, you'll start taking damage. And you can take quite a bit of damage. It depends how much, how well you drive. You will be able to repair them. Those, again, you will use either in-game currency, or you will have like a repair ticket kind of thing. Again, these can be rewarded by doing in-game tasks and part of seasonal rewards, and then if you actually destroy the vehicle, that probably means you're going to destroy yourself at the same time. In which case, then, yeah, you're going to have a pretty big, hefty repair bill, or cash in one of your rewards. And I do believe that you will end up in the medical center. So we do have a way of putting people back together again. It won't be game over as such, but I think you'll start in the medical center. I don't know if
and
you'll
it's
have
not the end of the
bills,
vehicle, but it would need to go to the repair shop, kind of thing. And we aren't going to start with all of that. That's not all going to be implemented right away. So nothing to worry about. It's going to unfold over time as we're able to add those features. Okay, Iron John from the Mafia yesterday. Crazy question. So I'm confused between, we're going to have live racing in domes with people going around the track, like publicly underneath it and around it and whatever all happening all at the same time. But then how are they going to get people on the list to race, like individually with a player selection and click and go to? So what's the distinction between the different ways to do it?
Yeah, you touched on that earlier. So the whole space does exist, as one big space eventually. So, like we say, you will go into Toledo Valley. You'll go into the outer. You will then go to the racing lobbies. In the racing lobbies, you'll have like a terminal. You will choose what vehicle you want to drive, what track you want to go on. You will then be teleported to there'll be a loading screen. You'll then end up in the actual racing lobby with everybody else that you're going to race against. You will also see all their vehicles, so you'll all be able to run around and have a look and flex with your vehicle. If you've got, in your case, if you've got a common and I've got an uncommon, or there'll be mythics in there. There'll be different skins. People have the racing suits on, and then you'll go racing. You'll end up on a podium, and then you'll come back. And we've not landed on this yet, but at that point, I think we'll say, look, do you want to race the same people again, or do you want to leave this lobby and go and race another one? So we've not finalized those details then, but that will be the kind of really good overview of what's going to happen.
Yep, agreed. And again, folks, the degree to which we have all of these things implemented is based upon what we're able to get done in this final stretch. And furthermore, we really want to get to testing so that we can start getting your community feedback. We start hearing the requests that you guys have, and we can start ranking them in order of what's the important things that we need to do to fix, or what are the most important bugs. And we start getting that process going of really buttoning up everything up. But a lot of the stuff that we conceptualize, ideate on, we can flesh that out and make it really amazing. But then we have to look at how do we execute on something simple first and make sure that people are loving what we're doing. And then we build out according to the vision and according to community feedback. So
Yep.
Well, that's it for our questions. And I think this was a great episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any final words from you, Rob?
Good luck in the mint next week if you're participating in it. Send us your feedback. What you think of our new process? Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah,
I think we say that enough.
And share your vehicle from the next mint. Share them. Let us see what you got. And all right, until next time, you guys have a great week. Good to see you on COPICafe episode 58.
Bye bye.